Then we pump those profits back into the profit cycle to generate even more profits. And I know what you're going to say. Profits? Yes, Stan. You're soaking in them.
Hey everybody, how's it going? This is your boy ExtrmWill, Extreme Tech. We're going to do another video here. I learned something new, so we're going to break this all data down in a new, interesting kind of way. This is probably going to be a terrible video to watch on your phone. You're probably going to want to watch it on the biggest screen you can if you really want to follow along with the data on this. I'll try to do as best as I can to describe it, but I can tell you right now it's going to be... We're going to be in PowerShell, so we're going to be looking at some of this stuff on some of the smallest print that I think I've seen. I'm recording this on a 4K screen, so it's going to be just real small when we start looking at the data on this. But if we look for the last 24 hours, says I made $28.56. Not necessarily the best. Probably, I guess we're under $30, so definitely what I'd consider to be a little bit of a bad day. This does look like, I guess, it's been a little bit more constant than I have been seeing, because it looks like it's pretty constant at about, 25 to 27 cents. There are some spikes where it goes up a little bit higher, or it's making up to like $3.70 for every 15 minutes, but definitely not as big. If we go back to the last 7 days, yesterday was $29.37. Day before that was $36.23, which was a little bit nicer. Day before that was $29. Day before that was $34.70. Day before that was $34.56. And the day before that looks like it was $29.63. And back here somewhere should be where they went mandatory to 1.7. So it's been a little rough, kind of hard to tell what's going on and what exactly we're looking at. I have 29 machines altogether. We're going to go through and break down each individual one. I'm going to try to get to them as quick as I can because we're going to look at everything every machine has run so far today. So we're going to come in here to our first machine. This is a 20-core Intel Xeon. This is a server motherboard, X99 motherboard with a server chip, 20 cores, 96 gigabytes of memory, RTX 4090, and we need to go into PowerShell. So Windows PowerShell. I'm going to right click. I'm going to run as administrator because PowerShell always runs better when you run it as administrator. I don't think you necessarily have to run this as administrator. I don't know if I saw a real difference between running it as administrator or not. And then we're going to put it down in this corner because that's where I put all of them. And we're going to go, I just hit Control V. I'm going to leave this in the comment down below. The one thing I can say when I was trying to do this, it does have to have this last quotation thing here at the end. That's a part of the actual code. I wasn't sure if that was part of the actual code or not. It is. I kind of know how to run PowerShell and kind of don't know how to run PowerShell all at the same time. So, but when you open PowerShell, yeah, I don't think it matters if you run it as administrator or if you just open it regularly. I just think if you run it as administrator, it tends to work a little bit better. Either one of those directly opening it as that works, but it's get/content semicolon get/child-item space/file space C semicolon /salad/log/ I don't even know what that symbol is. Sort-object, LastWriteTime, straight line up and down, select/object, /last one. I'm not even sure what the proper term for that is. Back parenthesis, dot, full name, line going up and down, select /string, quote, predicted earnings report, semicolon, end quote. I missed a bunch of spaces that I'm sure you have to have in there too, but that's kind of what it is. I'm going to leave it down below in the description, and you type that, and then this will show you, I believe this shows you everything since the beginning of the day. So right now we're running this, it's 11:24 a.m. For the rest of these, I had opened them all probably in like the last half an hour. So we're going to see what it's run pretty much just in the beginning part of the day. So if we start with this, these first two, it says at the beginning of the day, I have 2 double zeros, which I believe this means the system ran into an error and it crashed. So this could be an error on your half, an error on Salad's half, or an error on the customer's half. But I'm pretty sure when you see these two report earnings where it says you earned $0 from, and then it shows you what job it was you were running, I believe when you see 2 of the you earned 0 in a rows, that shows you it ran into an error and it crashed. Because if we look down here at this next one, it says it started to run a job where it's making $5.99. So it ran that for, it looks like, maybe a minute. And then I have 2 double zeros, which then looks like that crashed. So it crashing, again, as I said, it could be if you're on an old Windows driver, or not an old Windows driver, if you're on an old NVIDIA driver, it could be your end that it's crashing, or it could be Salad's end, or the customer writing junk programming, which I think, as I've kind of shown, you can see sometimes in your earnings. I believe my last earnings video, you were seeing this a lot. It looked like customers were trying to massively spin up jobs, and they were just all massively crashing. So I think the customers right now are getting really angry because I think everything they're trying to do is just not really working. And then, let's see. And then it looks like I had 3 more projected earnings here from 117 this morning to 119 this morning for 18 cents each for this job. So this looks like this is probably like a transcription job. Because it didn't end in double zeros, I'm assuming it just finished the job really quickly. So not a lot of real good earning from this, but you can see it does look like it did try to pick up a real good job, and it looks like it just crashed out. So I think this is a big problem Salad is having right now. It's really hard for us to track and tell. But if you go into PowerShell, I think you can actually see this pretty clearly there. So if we go on to the next machine, this is a 20-core, let's see, 96 gigabytes of memory, RTX 4070 Ti. If we go back to the beginning of the day, now this one looks like this one's actually been significantly more active. So this one looks like it started with at 2:44 a.m. It ran an 18-cent job for probably like a minute. Transcription job, got that done. And then at 3:17 a.m., it picked up a $1.50 job that it looks like it ran until 3:29, and then it looks like that job aired out. And then it looks like at 3:58, it picked up a 10-cent job that it looks like it ran that 10-cent job until 9:32. So that would be, it looks like it ran this 10-cent job forever, which is kind of dumb. So it looks like it ran this 10-cent job for, let's see, call it maybe for about 5.5 hours. So kind of dumb. Possibly something that may want to make me want to turn the CPU jobs off. I'm not there yet, but it's definitely something that I may want to think about. Because normally when I look at these and I go, it should just run for like, an hour or two and not be a real big deal. That ran for 5 hours. I don't know if that's just a really weird edge case, but definitely something that I don't really want to see my system using a lot of anything to be doing something like that. So I don't know if that one's just an odd one that ran a lot longer. I don't normally track how long stuff runs for, but in this you can see how long the job ran for. So, and you can pretty much tell it's all the same job because it all has the same end coding on it. I don't know what exactly this end coding means, but one of these should be... This should all be just like addresses for telling it kind of where it's going and all that for which customer it's running and which customer job it's running. So we'll see some more stuff on all that as we get through all of these. So if we go to the next machine, this is the AMD Threadripper 1950X, 64 gigabytes of memory, RTX 3090. If we go back, this looks like it's been running. Looks like it's been running the same job all day. So it's probably been on this job for a while, I would assume, because it looks like it's been on the same job straight. It looks like it's still on the same job. So it's making $2.62. Looks like it's a normal... Is that the medium priority 3090 job? So it looks like it's been running the same job just straight, just chugging on along. So that's good. That's kind of realistically what you actually want to be seeing out of your system. So that's, it's pretty awesome. So let's go to the next one. This is the beginning of the BC/PC combo kits from BC/PC.com. This is the 12 core. It says 96 gigabytes because I put more RAM in it. This is RTX 4090. So this one looks like starting at about 7:40 today until right now, it's been making $2.52 for the same job. So it's been running straight. Hasn't been running straight for days, but it has been running straight at least for like 4 hours. It doesn't look like this was making anything before then. It looks like it was idle until about 7:40 today. So it just started this job a couple of hours ago. But that should be a low priority 4090 job. So let's go to the next one. This is a 12 core, 96 gigabytes, RTX 4090. So this one looks like starting at about 9:20 until right now. It's been on a 10-cent job. It's been on the same 10-cent job. So it's been doing this for... My 4090 has been running this 10-cent job for over 2 hours. So definitely not the best. I don't think there's a lot of work in the system. So, I mean, these 10-cent jobs right now may be some of the best stuff you can get, because if there's no work in the system, there's no work in the system. And if half the work in the system is just crashing the system until they can fix that, it's going to be slim earnings, which is why we're seeing slim earnings, I think. So if we go to the next machine, this is 12 cores, 96 gigabytes, RTX 4070. Ooh, wow, this one looks like it has actually worked and done something, which seems to be kind of crazy to me because normally it doesn't do anything. So this looks like at 670, it made 10 cents. What didn't actually make 10 cents? This is the earnings, that's the estimate earnings for the entire day. So if it had ran this job for the entire day, it would have made 10 cents. But it looks like it ran a 10-cent job for a couple of minutes and then finished it. And then it looks like it ran a $2.62 job for about 7 minutes. And then that job finished. And then it looks like at 10:27, it ran a 10-cent job. Let's see here. I'm assuming, yeah. So so again, it only ran that 10-cent job for probably less than a minute. I don't know exactly how long these intervals are that it gets the log for, but it ran it for a kind of shorter period of time and then finished. But this does look like this finished all of these jobs. It doesn't look like it aired any of them out, because it doesn't have any of that zero earnings followed by a zero earning. So this looks like it finished the jobs. Alright, which is pretty good because I don't think that 4070 normally earns anything. So it does see it was earning something. So if we go to this next one, this is a 4060 Ti. Oops, that's not what I want to be in. I want to be in here. So this is the 12 core with 12 core CPU, 96 gigabytes of memory, RTX 4070 Ti. Now this is one of the ones too. I want to say I think the 00 shows the error because when I turn this on, you can see it was on the GPU because I was checking because Salad was in an error when I turned it on. So it definitely helps to reinforce that. I don't know why this would appear to have a different code on the end than this code from when it went into the error. But this code might mean something else other than what I think it does. I don't really know for sure. I'd imagine this is job information, but this should be the error from this job that it was on. So this coding may be just trying to say that this was erroring out, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't know enough about what all their codes mean. I don't imagine I ever will learn enough about what all their codes mean. This code too, this may also be the particular pricing for this or something. Yeah, I have no clue what any of their codes mean. If I do wind up finding something to learn about all their codes, I may share with you guys, or I may just not, because it may just be too much information. We'll see. But this does look like it was running $2.62 from the beginning of the day until about 6:40 when it aired out, and then now it's not earning anything. So we'll see what happens on this too. I'll try to remember. Should be pretty easy to remember on the 4060 Ti to see if it looks like this does pick another job up. I just hit the retry on Salad when the error came up in here. I just hit the retry button because when I had checked this, it said it was currently on the latest driver. So we'll just see what happens here. Hopefully that error is just something from the customer side and just hitting the retry button works. If this doesn't look like it picks up another job, I will have to use the Revo and uninstall and rewipe it again, but I'm not fully sure. Because when I looked at another one of these later on that had an error, get to it, I'll show you. But we'll come back to that point. So the Intel Xeon 12 cores. This has 64 gigabytes of RAM for an RTX 3090. I was watching Brandon Coyne's last video he did on Salad. He was saying you may actually want more than 60 for a third. You may actually want more than 60 gigabytes of memory for a 3090, which I don't feel like I've necessarily seen that yet. But he was saying you might, because he's seen some of them where it blows up to 60 gigabytes, and if it's taking the full 60 gigabytes, then you can't actually run that with 64 because you require like 5 gigabytes or whatever just to run Windows. So it could potentially crash out. So there is reasoning out there where you may want to, on your 3090s, to be running 96 gigabytes of memory. So we'll see. I'll try to pay attention to it. And see, right now it's only using 40, so, but that could be that it's running this job and then it doesn't have an option to run the other one. But if we look up this one, so this one looks like this would be for the whole day. It's been running this $2.28 job, and it looks like it was running it solidly. And then it looks like it had an error at 8:03, but it didn't actually crash the job out because it looks like it was able to self-correct or work around the error and then pick the job back up again. Well, I don't know if it actually picked the job back up. It's probably, no, this looks like it did error and crash out of that job. This coding looks similar, but it is different. It's different. So at about 8 a.m., this one errored out of this job, and then it picked up a very similar job at 8:16 after erroring out of that job. And then it looks like it picked a new job up, and it looks like it is currently actively running that new job at $2.62. So this is one of those things I was saying before too. Like, you have no way of really knowing when you're looking at this. Has it been running the same job, or did it just finish that job and pick up an identical job? Because a lot of the jobs pay very similar. If you're renting a 3090 with one core with 40 gigabytes of memory, which to my understanding is a very common job that they're running in there, and then you have it at the low priority, the medium priority, and the high priority. So you see these, your pay scales are pretty consistent all the way across. So you can finish a job or air out of a job and then pick up another job and be running something really similar. I feel fairly certain this double zero here, where you earn 0 and then the next one you earn 0. I'm pretty sure that is it erroring and crashing out, and this is the error and crashing out code that you're seeing here after it. This isn't an actual job code. This is the code for why it erred out. That would be my best guess, why Salad wants to see your logs when you send them to him. But yeah, and then this one, because it has a different extension on it, would lead me to believe that this is running a complete different job with just a different pay scale. But it can be hard to tell when you're just looking at this the way we used to look at it. You don't know if you finish the job, if when you finish the job it was good, or if when you finish the job it was bad. Like, you have no real way of knowing if it aired out, or if it just finished the job when it went to the next one. Now, to a certain degree, I understand why Salad doesn't necessarily tell us if it aired out, because if that error is on Salad's side or in the customer side, there's nothing really we can do about it. So there's no real point in me and you stressing out about an error in Salad's program or an error in the customer's program. There's just, you can only do what you can do. So, but looks like it aired out, picked up a new job pretty much right away. So not that terrible. So let's go to the next one. This is a 12-core, 64-gigabyte RTX 3090. Did I go to the next machine? Let's... that's not what I want to do. Let's look at these two side by side. See, is that 833? So this looks like these were both running the exact same job. Because I've said before, when the customer spins a job up, it looks like you, it's not just one person running the job. There's like 10 to 1,000 of us running that job. So this looks like this first job that it was running, this $2.62 job. It looks like these were both running the exact same job. And then at 8 o'clock... Oh, no, this one aired out... 30 minutes... Or 27... 30 minutes? Yeah, this one aired out 30 minutes after this one aired out from the same job. Is what it looks like. And then this one picked up a different job from that one. But they did also... They both continued to pick up a job for $2.62 and continue to run that different job from here to here. But this looks like they were both running the same job, and about 30 minutes apart from each other, they both aired out. So I would wonder, then I would probably say this machine that aired out first probably actually started running the job 30 minutes earlier, and they probably both aired out at the exact same point in the code, but the machine that aired out 30 minutes earlier picked that job up 30 minutes before, so it was 30 minutes further into the code before it aired it out. Because they probably both aired out at the exact same point in the code. And that's probably the point that they aired out at. That's the point in the code where there's the error in the code that from most likely from the customer. Because this looks like they were both running the same job because they both have the same extensions here. So this should be saying this should be like customer code and the specific customer job and all that. So that is pretty interesting to see, though, like when I'm side by side. We can close the one out because I'm not going to go back to it. But you can see it does look like they were both running the same job and at pretty close to the same point, they both aired it out. Because like when they spin them up, the priority that they pay for is how quickly it picks all of them up. So if this is just on the medium priority, it's not necessarily going to pick both of them up at the same time. It's gonna Salad's gonna make sure they hand out all of the high priority jobs first, and then the medium priority jobs, and then they hand out the low priority jobs last, unless there might be a tier below low priority. I think if you don't even set a priority, I think you're actually lower than low priority. So it would hand those out like last. So they don't necessarily all start up at the exact same time. The higher priority the customer puts it in, the more quicker it'll fire all the jobs up, but they don't all fire up necessarily at the same time. So if the customer pays for high priority, they should be able to fire up. If they're paying for 100 at high priority, they should pay for the next 100 machines available to fire that up that second. So they should be, the high priority ones should definitely be picked up the quickest. So that is kind of interesting to see. Two of them both running the same job like that. I'd imagine if we look at some of my other 3090s, they may also show that same job code doing the same thing. So we'll go to this next one. This is another 12-core, 96 gigabytes of memory, RTX 4070 Ti. This one, currently you can tell, has not run a job yet today. We'll try this one more time. Oh, no, it did pick something up. I had tried it twice before, I guess before 11 o'clock, and at 11 o'clock it had run nothing. So this says it did try running an 18-cent job. It looks like it tried running the 18-cent job. For about 3 or 4 minutes. And then it looks like that job aired out. And then it looks like it tried to pick up another 18-cent job. Now, this could technically be the exact same 18-cent job. The customer may have just gone through and edited the program to try to make their program work better. And this could then technically have a different extension on it if it is still trying to run the exact same thing, but the customer edited it, because then the information wouldn't necessarily be the same. We're not necessarily seeing the customer ID in here. We're just seeing where it's going. But this could technically be the exact same program. The customer may have just edited it and then try to rerun it again, and then it would have a different extension. Because this is still supposed to be like a decrypted thing where we're not really supposed to know what exactly we're running or who we're running it for or anything like that. We're not supposed to be able to figure any of that out. So I would imagine they're still decrypting the customer number and where it's going and what it's doing and all that. So it could be the same one, or I could be running something different. I don't know why it's running an 18-cent job. Let's take a look real quick into my settings and make sure we're not actually having mining available. It did not somehow or other turn the crypto mining on. So the crypto mining is currently disabled. So this should just be a bigger transcription job. Maybe for the transcript, because I think the transcription jobs are normally like 10 cents. So they might have paid for like more RAM possibly in the transcription job, or more cores. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, if you haven't run anything yet, that particular 24-hour period, it just won't show you anything. So you can see here where I ran it the first 2 times because there was no job. It didn't have a job yet. And then when it did finally pick a job up was at 11:07, and I had started checking all of my machines. I guess I must have started checking all of them probably like 11. When we get to the second set of the machines, I'd have actually started checking all of them probably a good 20 minutes before I started checking any of these. So let's go to the next machine. This is a RTX 3090, and because this is on the 3090, not on the CPU specifically, I probably have errors in this. Nope, no errors in this one. This one looks like it has run this job straight through. So it has been running, from whenever I updated it, it's been running this job straight all day long. $2.62. So it may have actually been on this job for, it's probably been on this job for more than just today. So I wouldn't have an ability to tell when it actually started the job like this, but it's been running this job for a while, so that is good. So we go to this next one here. This is 12 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3080. So this one looks like it's run a bunch of different jobs. So this first one looks like it was running from the beginning of the day. It looks like it was a $1.30 job. So it looks like it ran that until about 1:15, and then I'm assuming that job ended correctly because I don't have the zeros in here from the reporting, so it doesn't look like it aired out. And then it looks like it pretty quickly, after it finished that one, it picked up a $2.46 job. So that $1.30, that's a low tier priority. And then it looks like it picked up a medium tier priority job that it looks like it ran for 2.5 hours. And then it looks like it picked up an 18-cent job that aired out at 4:06. And then in an hour, it looks like it picked up another 18-cent job that it looks like again aired out. So this looks like it might have, this does look really interesting. So it looks like it tried running those 18-cent jobs. It aired out. And then 2 hours after running the medium tier job, it looks like it went back to running the medium tier job. And this one has the exact same code. So, and then it looks like it was running that again for about another 2 hours. So I don't know if this code necessarily means it was for sure running that exact same job, or if the code is something that can be used multiple. Because it seems weird that it would have run the same job, and the customer may have run the same job again, because they may have wanted to double check their results if they're running something through AI to see if the probability it was going to give them the exact same thing again. Do I have a total on how long this job ran for? So this ran for, let's see, 1:30 to 3:20, so that's about 2 hours and 40 minutes. So yeah, they may have just run the exact same equation again without changing anything, just to check for probabilities and all that. It looks like it looks like it literally ran the exact same job again for the same amount of time, and it looks like the job ended correctly and normally. Let's see, I'm pretty sure I started all this afterwards, right? Yeah. 9:25, 9:25. Yeah, so it's not currently in a job right now, but it does look like it reran that exact. It looks like the customer reran that exact same job again. About 4 hours later, after it had finished. Probably, as I said, double check and verify the results. Now, this is a lot. Some of this is me just wildly speculating on what this looks like to me. So you can take all my wild speculations with a grain of salt. I want to say I'm probably right on a vast majority of this. I'm sure there's some of this stuff I'm wrong on, but I'd assume my hypotheses are normally pretty close. So let's go to the next machine. This is 12 cores, 96 gigabytes, RTX 3090. So let's come back to the beginning here. This looks like at the beginning of the day, it was doing a $2.62 job. And then it looks like at about 2 a.m. that job aired out. And then it picked up another $2.62 job about 30 minutes later after that one had aired out. And then it looks like at about right before 4 a.m. that job aired out again. This one had 3 zeros, which is kind of interesting. Normally I think I only get 2 zeros, but I think that could have to do with the amount of reporting time. And then it looks like about 10 minutes later, it had picked up another job. Wow, and then the next one had 4 zeros. So this may be one of the ones that I may have cleared out the errors on, because it may have shown me the errors. And then I went in and started looking at it, and then it looks like for like 3.5 hours, it ran another job for $2.62, and then that one aired out. And then it looks like right now it is on a $2.62 job. But it looks like this has actually run 4 different jobs today. 5 different jobs today. Wow. 5 different jobs today, all for the exact same total. But it does look like they do keep airing out. Because I think there is 3090 work in there. We do know, I believe Sal had said that there's been issues with the 3090 jobs crashing that they're aware of. So in this, I think you can see specifically, like, it crashed out several times. I wonder if was us crashing out the same error? Yeah, so it looks like all of this crashing out, looks like this is all crashing out for the exact same error. So you could probably track and see then which error this is, exactly which one it is. But this leads me to believe you may not necessarily have to reinstall everything every time something errors out. You may want to come and look in this and see, are you running or not running? Because if it picks up another job after it gets the error, the errors might not be as terrible as it looked like they were. Your machine might not be completely shut down and not running, but we weren't able to tell before because that's how Salad has this run right now. So some of the errors you might just be able to hit the retry button and be fine, and some of them you might not be able to hit the reset button and be fine. We're going to need to work on figuring that out. I will have to do a better job tracking and paying attention to some of that information for which ones you can just hit retry on and which ones you can't. So obviously I'll have to wait till I get another error to take a look. We might see in the second half, or maybe when we get to this one here, we'll see, because that one loves throwing errors. So we will see. This one looks like it should currently be active running, but it does look like every single time it stopped, it gave me the same error right here, for the same extension, for the error every time it quit running. So if we go to the next one here, this is a 12-core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3060 Ti. And I will try to control paste this in. Okay, so it does look like it did pick up another job that it's already finished running. It ran an 18-cent job, a decoding job, for 2 minutes, and then it finished it. I don't think it crashed the job out because it doesn't give me an error that it crashed it out. So I assume it just ran the job and it finished, and it was just a real small job. So obviously I wouldn't have actually got 18 cents for this. My actual calculation on that would be, let's pull a calculator out and show you. So we would have made 18 cents for, we'll say it was 3 minutes. This is 54 cents. So we will divide that by 60 minutes in the day, and then divide that by 24 hours. So for this 18-cent job that it ran for about 3 minutes, I would have actually made about 0.037 cents would be my actual total that it made from running that. To kind of explain some of this out, because I know some of the earnings, people have a hard time with it, but it's, you got to figure out, it's saying I would have made 18 cents if it ran for the entire day, but it didn't run for the entire day. It ran an 18-cent job for about 3 minutes. So my actual earnings from that would have been almost 0.4 cents. 0.04 cents. So definitely nowhere near covering the electricity. But you can see if it doesn't run a job, then when you type this in, nothing comes up, and that's what it means. It hasn't run a job today yet. So if we go to the next machine, this one is a 12-core, 64 gigabytes RTX 4060 Ti. So this one looks like it ran a 10-cent job for a little less than an hour. This is more what I want to see from these 10-cent jobs. It ran it for like 30 minutes. So that's not unreasonable. And then this looks like for, oh man, 45 minutes. This ran a medium tier job. Oh, and then for about 5 minutes, it looked like it ran a high priority job, and then it crashed out. This may have been the same error message we saw from before. I'll start having to try to track these and see if I can figure out what some of these error messages are exactly. But I'm assuming, I can't remember which ones of these I saw the errors on myself and which ones they didn't tell me. I assume if it's an error they think you can do something about, they will show you the error. If it's not an error Salad thinks you can do anything about, they're not going to bother showing it to you. So if Salad knows for sure it's just an error on the customer part or on Salad's part, they're not going to bother informing you of the error because there's nothing you can do about it. But if it is one of the ones where they say you have like a lack of GPU memory or something like that, like you may need to make sure you don't have other programs running. I don't have any other programs running though. These are all dedicated rigs that are all only running Salad. So, but like if like your NVIDIA driver is out of date, let's double check that. It should be 6603. It's 6603. So my NVIDIA driver is currently up to date. And then this looks like at about 5:13, it started running another transcription job that it ran for 3 minutes, and then it finished. Let's go to the next one. This is 12 cores. I believe this is the last of my BC/PC combo kit boards. So 12 cores, 64 gigabytes of memory, RTX 3060. Let's see here. So it started the day off on a 10-cent job. So I don't know how long it was actually running that 10-cent job for. But it looks like it was running it for at least an hour since the beginning of the day. Then it looks like it ran a $1.30 job for like 7 minutes-ish. Then it looks like it finished that one. And then it looks like it ran a job for a $1.56 for 8 to 10 minutes, and then it looks like it crashed out. And then it looks like it ran a 10-cent job. And then it looks like that one crashed out. go to the next one here. Well, let's bring up a new version of this one. See what we have here right offhand. See if it is doing anything right now. Now this one has been on constant errors, so I don't know if this one can actually pick up a container. Because of the errors it's been getting, it says it can't create a container, so I don't know if it's even going to try to give it a container. But this one looks like even on the 10-cent jobs, just trying to run 10-cent jobs, looks like it runs a 10-cent job, it crashes out. Runs a 10-cent job, it crashes out. It did a 20-cent job here for a second. And then it went to 18 cents for the job. And then it crashed out. And then it looks like it tried to do an 18-cent job, and it crashed out. And it tried to do a 10-cent job, and then it crashed out. And then it ran a 10-cent job for quite a while that it looks like it properly finished that 10-cent job. Oh my goodness. So that's the first half of the machines. So let's try to look at the second half of the machines. We'll probably just have to do the 8-core PCs. And then I'll have to do the 6-core and 4-core PCs last. Alright, so this one looks like all day long, since the beginning of the day, this has been doing $1.30. Let's see, it's i7, 8-core, 32 gigabytes, RTX 3060 Ti has been making $1.30 all day, so that is nice. Does this look weird? Oh, I think this one I don't have it under administrator. That's why it looks weird. So yeah, you do definitely want to run this under administrator. That's not what I want. Not having it run under administrator looks like it's not showing you the whole day. Nope. Nope, it looked weird because that was showing me yesterday's when I started looking at this. So yesterday's stuff was on top. So yesterday this machine was running. And then today, so these first couple might still have yesterday's in there too. So yesterday it was running, and then today looks like at 6:30 it ran a 20-cent job for less than a minute. And that's all it did. Let's go to the next one. This is I've been getting errors on this one too because it's not on the CPU. So it's the i7, 8-core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3070. So, alright, this should be today's. So then for today, it looks like it's been doing $1.30 for the vast majority of the day, and then it looks like it did that until 3:39. And then at 3:51, it picked up a job for $1.32, which looks like it is a different job. And it looks like it ran that until about 6:11. And then it looks like that job aired out. And then it looks like at 6:50, picked up a job for $1.88, and it looks like it ran that for a very short period of time. And then it looks like at 7:12 it picked up a 10-cent job, and it looks like it ran that for a very short period of time. But it doesn't look like those aired out. If it did air out, if those other smaller jobs did air out, it's just not reporting that error in here for me. Let's look at my last 8-core machine. So this is a Ryzen 7 8-core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3070. So this looks like yesterday's looks like it was running a 10-cent job that it aired out on. And then So you can tell yesterday I checked, because it's 11/7, I checked at about, what's that, 1300. That would be salads 2 p.m. in the afternoon. That's not my 2 p.m. in the afternoon. It's going to be salads 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Because I think for me that was... It was like 4, maybe 4 in the afternoon or 5 in the afternoon. I think it had to be 5 in the afternoon for me. So I think salad is based out of... So this time is based out of Utah, I think. The time's in here. So this is... For today's numbers then, this is midnight Utah time. Not even midnight my time. It's midnight Utah time. That doesn't make any sense, because down here on the bottom... That's my time for right now, isn't it? No, maybe I was checking it at a different time. Maybe I was checking it earlier yesterday, and I thought... Because I'm pretty sure it's 11... No, it's not 11:20 right now. I don't know if that finished. I don't know. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I have an ability to check and see. So this one may have had finished earlier then. But it looks like it was making $1.30 until it stopped. We'll have to continue to look at that and see to figure that out. So I'm going to open all of the 6-core machines and my 3 4-core machines. So this is a i5, 6-core, 32 gigabytes, RTX 3060 Ti. So this one looks like at the start of the day, it was doing a 10-cent job for a very long time for like probably almost 6 hours. Kind of hard to tell when exactly it started. And then at about 6:30, it started doing a $1.30 job. And it looks like it ran that until 9:22. So for almost 3 hours, it was doing a $1.30 job. And it looks like right now it is inactive. So if we go to this next one, this is an i5, 6-core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3060. Come on. This one looks like all day long it has been doing $1.95. Did it finish at 1042? No, it's still doing it. Yeah, I don't know. Because right now, it says it's 12:13 here, but the last reported in here says 11:28:10. So that's off by like 45 minutes. So I don't know exactly what time it's using for sure. I don't know. This one looks like it's doing, anyways, it's doing $1.95. I think I'm getting too off track with that. So that should be a medium tier job for a 3060. So not too bad. Looks like it's been running pretty constantly. So let's go to the next one here. We are on Ryzen 5, 6-core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3070 Ti. So this one looks like it ran a it looks like it ran 3 different 10-cent jobs. Because it ran this one at like 12:35 a.m. And then at 1:20 a.m. we have a different 10-cent job with a different job code. And then at 2:56 or 2:53 a.m. we have a different 10-cent job with a different code. And then this looks like, which machine is this? 3070 Ti. And then this looks like this ran a $2.10 job for like 5 minutes before it aired out. And then this looks like it ran a 20-cent job for a little bit at 5:51. And then it looks like it just finished it normally. So if we go to the next machine, this is i5, 6 cores, 32 gigabytes, RTX 3070. And this one looks like it's just been running a 10-cent job all day long, or not all day long. So it ran a 10-cent job from 9:18 to 10:43, and then it looks like it finished. So like an hour and 30 minutes, hour and 20 minutes, something like that, hour 25. So if we go to the next machine, here is a AMD Ryzen 5, 64 gigabytes of memory, RTX 3060 Ti. And I don't know why that's not minimizing when I click on this. So this looks like it ran a 10-cent job for a minute and then aired out, and then tried running a 20-cent job for a minute and aired out, and then ran a 10-cent job for a little bit, finished it, and then ran a 60-cent job for an even smaller little bit and finished it, and then ran a 10-cent job for a real small amount and finished it. So if we go to the next one, this is my 10-year-old i7 PC. Ooh, and this one, it looks like it had not run anything, and then it looks like it ran an 18-cent job for 1 minute, and it looks like it finished it. So it's a 10-year-old i7, 16 gigabytes of DDR3, RTX 3060. So one nice thing about looking at it like this is if I do monitor this way for a long period of time, I will tell this thing's just not getting any work at all. So I may gut this machine out and just try to throw this on a newer motherboard with DDR4 RAM, with 64 gigabytes of DDR4, instead of trying to run this with the DDR3, because this machine might be getting downgraded just because the CPU and the RAM are so old. I know they don't tend to really make a distinction, but I think with this having not a lot of RAM, it's going to be less likely to get a job. Because it is the maximum amount of RAM I can use on this motherboard. I may just have to upgrade the system. We'll see here. We will see. So this next one is i3 4-core 64 gigabytes RTX 3070. So this one looks like it began the day off doing a job for $1.32, and then it looks like it finished that job at about 1:11 a.m. and then at 5:02 a.m. it picked up a 20-cent job that it looks like it pretty much immediately aired out on. Well, 3 minutes later it aired out on, and then 21 minutes later at 5:21 picked up a job for $1.30, which it looks like it's probably still running. So it's not too bad. And then if we go to the very last machine, yikes, this one looks like it's barely done anything today at all. This was my most reliable machine for a long time. It's i3, 4 cores, 32 gigabytes of memory, and RTX 3080. So it looks like it ran a 10-cent job for about a minute. And then it looks like it finished. Let's see if we bring this up again. Is that all it shows? Oh, no, it did some more. No, it had just picked up a 10-cent job when I brought it up, I guess. And then it's been running a 10-cent job, it looks like, pretty much that whole time. So, wow, that was, we are at an hour, so this is probably the longest video I think I've done on this so far. This is definitely a much harder, more in-depth way of trying to look at everything. Oh my goodness. Oh, I don't know how many I'm going to do the earning styles video like this, but this is the only way I have to look at the data, and the only real way I can show you the data. I think I can actually show it, though. It does show it in a more in-depth way, so hopefully you guys found this useful and informative. I know I definitely did from my own perspective, so kind of the way I look at this is something I think I'd want to watch and see. Then, you know, I like it and like the idea of making the video like that. So, yeah, if you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe, come on back. Hopefully the next video will be a lot shorter. An hour-long video on this, that seems like a bit much, but we broke everything down as good as I possibly could. So yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. If we go back to the earnings page, last 24 hours. So that's, I mean, that looks about right in my head for me making $2.70 every 15 minutes. So that'd be about $27 or $28 a day, like where we're actually at. Because yeah, like, I don't think a lot of my cards weren't running right now at all. I don't think the 4090s really looked like, I don't think any of my 3 4090s looked like they were on an actual current long-running job. I might have had one on there, but all three definitely weren't. I didn't notice the 4090s definitely weren't all crushing it. A lot of inactive cards for me right now, so looks about right. But yeah, if you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe, and come on back. I'm just going to finish talking, so I'll see you in the next one. Peace.